Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Maverick here with episode 7 of Yuukoku no Moriarty. So, in the last episode, we have got William Moriarty confronting Count Enders with his recent killing of a commoner, right? Now, I presume that William is instead going to use this as an opportunity to turn on Enders, really not accuse him of anything. Instead, he's probably going to be all buddy-buddy with him and like, yeah, look, these commoners, what a joke, right? And then set Enders up to do something even bigger, right? Because obviously, William has bigger plans and all that. Now, with that being said, though, I'm most excited for this episode because last episode, it is already revealed who Sherlock Holmes is. They both know each other now, and I think this is going to be the first time when they actually clash and start dueling, having their battle of wits and intelligence, right? So I can't wait for that. Let's get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Come on, don't disappoint me. Like, I know it's a bunch of Ikemen and all that, but still, you can, wait. Isn't this what happened at the beginning of last episode? Are we just reiterating the situation? Right, okay. We're just going through the entire situation again. Oh, dang it, we're starting with the opening first? Alright. Anyways, as I was saying, I do hope that the actual Battle of Wits and stuff is going to be good. I mean, we saw a glimpse of that in the last episode already, but it wasn't really all that impressive, like, seriously speaking. The cry. You know, I do feel like this is probably the sort of anime where people would be shipping, like, William and Holmes or whatnot, or something of that kind of sort. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, you do you. Yeah, he's gonna be... You are about to be set up. Alright, so maybe not actual, but kind of buddy-buddy. Not entirely buddy-buddy. Heave ho! Oh, actually, they did. That's... Alright, he planted something on him. I'll bet the body wasn't actually completely gone either. They probably retrieve it. Yep. There's the body. How are they going to utilize this, though? Right. William. Oh, he's in D. It's the kid. It's the kid, right? Seriously? Okay, so he's gonna try to kill him again, and they're gonna catch him in the act, or something like that, I guess. Who was that gang? Fred, right? Fred. If you would use your brain for like 1 second, you would know that is impossible. And why would he be just sitting there watching the opera? The intelligence level of this guy is barely above that of an ape. And you wouldn't think that he wouldn't have said that already? Oh my god, this... What an absolute moron. Is he going to find a way to kill himself on stage? And curtain rise. I like the use of classical music in the background. I can't quite remember which piece it is, but it's quite famous. I just can't remember which one. All right. And now, raise the stage. Raise the curtains as well. Talk. Oh my god. And he couldn't have noticed himself being raised up? Like, come on. Oh my god. And like, where's the policeman? Where's the guard? And then of course he's gonna be, oh my god. Like seriously, who thinks of this? Who acts this way? Like, come on. Okay, this is definitely newsworthy. Nice. And Sherlock is gonna be like, something suspicious about all this. He died long before today. Rigor mortis. Oh, and the hunter has now become the hunted. Ah, seriously though. I'm pretty sure that William and friends are going to make sure that he is actually killed, right? Just in case he says anything. They need him to die. Yep, there we go. Of course. Splat. Oh wait, he fell overboard? How the F does that even happen? What? That makes, oh my god, this makes no sense at all. And not to mention, if he did fall overboard, there would still be a chance that he's alive, right? It would make much more sense for him to and splatter on the deck. I'm sure the nobility would also be appalled as well. Like, come on. It's not like every single noble is a bloodthirsty. Of course, Sherlock. He hasn't even done anything yet, so how come... Ah, there we go. Sherlock actually came up to him, right? And said, hey, pretty nice trick you pulled there. Or something of that sort, right? Yeah, rigor mortis. And the fact that he's speaking to you about this means he suspects it's you. The truth comes out. Yep. His most famous quote. Sherlock Holmes. Bond. James Bond. Oh my god. I'll see you guys after this. Oh boy, what in the world did I just watch here? Now, I know that for most that are actually watching this video right now, right, you're probably a fan of the series and all that, so I get it, right? And, you know, what I'm going to say maybe isn't exactly the most pleasant to hear for a fan of this series, but, you know, this is how I normally do things for my musings section. I just say straight up what I feel about a situation. I don't sugarcoat it or anything, and honestly, I feel like the entire premise was really ridiculous, alright? Okay, I can get, right, from an entertainment perspective, you know, having this sort of grandiose, having this sort of flair, this kind of situation, right, literally stab a noble stabbing into the heart of it, or the body of a commoner, right up there in the big stage with all the onlookers looking on. Like, sure, you know, I get it. It makes for a very visually compelling scene, right? However, I feel like there are ways to achieve the same sort of effect while still having a tight logic to the entire story. Now, Maverick, you might ask, why do you have to be so whiny about the situation? Can you just, you know, take it for what it is? Well, yes, maybe, right? Even though it is kind of hard, but still, well, I think suspension of disbelief can only work so much. It's a common problem I have with lots of other anime as well. Like, I can get it, right? In any case, we are talking about a fantasy setting and whatnot. We are talking about, you know, some things are just, you know, it's just a plot point, right? It's just plot armor. Deal with it. But still, there are steps that you can make to at least make it seem more on the side of plausible than on the side of improbable, right? And that's the main problem that I have with this particular episode and in the way that the entire plot was carried out from the very beginning, right? Like, let's look at all the various points where things could and should have gone wrong. For one, when William barged into the Count's room and whatnot, and then trying to act all buddy-buddy with him, right? You know, how could he have known that the Count wouldn't actually try to kill him right then and there to eliminate any other witnesses, right? That's entirely a possibility as well, right? That's number one. And sure, you could say that William probably had the hand-to-hand fighting abilities, combat abilities to fight him off if need be, or whatnot, but is he really so confident of his own abilities that it's not going to turn into a situation which might draw more attention, or so on and so forth, right? It's hard to say, right? And in any case, that would at least mean that the entire setup for this would have failed right then and there if he didn't manage to apprehend or even kill Enders instead, right? So that's one. And then, you really have to bet on the sheer stupidity of this particular account in order for a lot of the rest of things to actually work, right? Like, you need to know. So if Ender, you actually tell Enders, hey, there's a guy that looks like that man you just killed last night sitting in the audience, he's going to immediately jump up and start trying to find him and all that, and he's going to chase after him, even though, what exactly can that accomplish at that point in time, question mark, right? And seriously, any sort of reasonably sane person would think, okay, if that really was the guy that I stabbed last night, why would he just be sitting there with no problem at all? He hasn't reported me to the 40s or whatnot, he's just sitting there, right? Like, hello? What? And then, chasing after him as well, yada yada yada. And then, that's another thing, right? That's another thing that could have gone wrong. He could have decided to wait until the stage play was over, really find out a little bit more about the situation and whatnot, and then deal with the entire thing, right? So that's the second thing that could have gone wrong. Third thing, actually chasing after all the way to the body, and then not just confirming that he's dead, but actually still staying there and continuously stabbing the body with a knife, right? So, obviously, I don't think that's something any normal person would do, and even a crazy person, I think it would be far-fetched. You would be hard-pressed to find them actually doing something like that. That's another thing that could have gone wrong. You also have to have this guy so oblivious of his surroundings that he can literally be rose up on a platform up onto the stage without him even noticing the situation, right? So, again, another very improbable situation that happened once he was on stage, and then once again, the fact that he would actually be making that entire spiel about, you guys are all suck, you're all commoners, you're beneath me, what matters if I kill some of you? He has to make that entire thing right up on stage as well. That's another thing that's really, really highly improbable. And then even in that situation, right, there could have been, it's really also accepting that the rest of the audience, the nobility in the audience, wouldn't really want to distance themselves instantly, right? Like, what if a noble at that point just stood up and said, what are you talking about? Shame on yourself. You bring disgrace to nobility. You aren't part of the nobility, or something of that sort. Then the perception would still kind of be turned around, right? And definitely not be in line with what William was trying to pull off. So there's that as well. And then you're also going to have to count on the fact that he is able to evade all the security staff and whatnot, and not be captured alive, right? He had to have the ability to outrun all of them and not actually get himself caught, because if he was caught, then he would start talking, right? And then he would the actual situation would come out, and then it would be tied back to William somehow, because he's directly there was no possibility of leaving the Count alive. He had to die, because otherwise William would have been tied back to him, and then that would complicate a lot of things as well. So they needed for that to go right as well. And then what else? So he did eventually die in the end, so yeah, whatever. Although, once again, I feel like they should have animated him falling onto the deck, and then we can confirm that he died right then and there, instead of falling overboard, where he could have still been rescued, or something of that sort, right? So, anyways, just a lot of things had to not only go right, but they had to go in a highly improbable fashion in order to achieve what we finally see here. So, I'm just saying, it's just too many improbables crammed into one, and that really makes it hard to suspend disbelief and really just look at it for what it is, right? So the best that I can do in this situation is just, shove it aside, fine, whatever. We'll assume that it happened in a much more plausible situation and ended up with a similar effect, right? And that's the thing here, right? Because I feel like there are ways, just thinking about it, that William could have achieved a similar sort of event, a similar sort of aspect of all this, without actually having him to go through this entire dramatic and this dramatic route, and one which where enders really seem to have an IQ of like 30 or something, right? So anyways, I feel like that's maybe too much complaining, but I have to get that out of my chest, right? Now the rest of it, of course, the interactions between Moriarty and Sherlock and whatnot, that's still fun to me, right? That's actually still really fun to me, and Holmes being like Sherlock Holmes, like the kind of like a James Bond kind of situation. And of course you knew that Sherlock would know immediately what was going on. Rigor mortis, it's the rigidity of the body that sets in once you kill someone. Honestly, they probably should have investigated the body as well, even after once. Yeah, they probably should, although with what Sherlock said at the very end there, probably is implying that in England they don't have this practice of doing a post-mortem to make sure they know of the time of death and everything. So that's that I guess that could be a saving grace for him, as for William and the others as well, right? But yeah, anyways, and then at the very end there, oh, by the way, the quote that he mentioned at the very end, of course, I love that they fitted that in. They kind of misquoted it a little bit. I believe the full quote is more like, once you eliminate the impossible, then what's remaining, however improbable, is the truth, right? And there they said, well, it's essentially the same thing, right? Eliminating all the other possibilities, and which is eliminating the impossible. It's kind of the same thing. It's just kind of sort of misquoted. But anyways, I am still looking forward to seeing the two clash against each other, but hopefully in the next one, and one which they actually do butt heads and whatnot, the terms of the murder, the killing, or the crime will be a lot more down to earth, right? You can still go for the grandiose, you can go with the flair and whatnot, but you can still set it up in a way that makes it plausible, right? Like think of the famous works in that we have in real life today, which also feature an antagonist doing something crazy and yet still doing it in a plausible situation, right? In a plausible way, or at least in making sure to cover the important aspects so that we can overlook some of the more minor details. Like, are you going to have to explain every single minor thing about the entire situation? No, but you can't really rely on hope either, right? Like for instance, let me think. What's the one where the guy hides behind a Guy Fawkes mask and blows up London? Z or something like that? I kind of forgot. But that's the one that instantly popped into my mind. You guys know what I'm talking about? The Guy Fawkes mask guy and it was a movie. Hold on, let me look this up real quick. V for Vendetta. Okay, god damn it, why did I forget this name? Like V for Vendetta, right? It's obviously there for the flair, for the show and whatnot. Sure, there's probably some aspects of that movie, of that story, where you're like, is this really possible? Can you really pull this off? But it's not. It doesn't turn into like the full front and center, and you're not questioning it right from the get-go, right? And so I feel like there's a little difference here. Anyways, this has gone way too long already, so hopefully in the future, once we get into some further story between Sherlock and Moriarty and whatnot, they're going to be more on the logically consistent side of things. Is that too much to ask? Anyways, that's it for now for this episode. Let me know what you guys think about this as well. Do you kind of agree, disagree, yada yada yada? I'm sure that if you are a fan of this series, probably you can already overlook this, or perhaps they actually change a lot of things from the manga, right? Which is also a possibility. In which case, well, then shame on the anime producers, right? In any case, I'll see you guys next week as well. Bye bye.